Wow. Are you inspired? Yes. Inspiration lights the fire within. Show the world our very best. Reveal what's in our hearts. Show the world our very best. Reveal what's in our hearts. Say that with me. Show the world our very best. Reveal what's in our hearts. Again, show the world our very best. Reveal what's in our hearts. You and I are really privileged to be in this teaching and to be in a gathering of others committed to practice this teaching. I am still in love with unity. I am still in love with what we stand for, what we teach, how we be together as community, and what we strive to accomplish and express in our lives. And I've been in this teaching since the middle 1970s, and I have not fallen out of love with it. Why? Because I know that within this teaching, I am inspired to show the world my very best, that I am inspired to reveal what's in my heart. I know that ours is a teaching that can help me to be able to do that. Do you believe that as well? Absolutely. Absolutely. I am drawn into this teaching for many different reasons. I'm drawn into this teaching because it is so relevant and practical. It gives us the tools to fulfill this mission, to be inspired to be our very best selves, and then to take that even further and to be about transforming our world with love. Ours is not a teaching that we just come to and dabble in on Sunday mornings and then leave. Ours is not a teaching that says if you just come these days of the week, or you say these prayers, or you do these external things, that you are saved and your life is good forevermore. Ours is a teaching that requires us to practice every single day a way of thinking and a way of being. It is so much a part of what is fundamental to unity that though we have only 5 guiding principles or foundational beliefs, one of the 5 expresses this idea I'm speaking about, that knowledge of spiritual principles is not enough. Knowledge of spiritual principles is not enough. We have to live them. We have to live them. And everyone will know we are living them in some very fundamental and basic ways. When we are living these teachings to the best of our ability, our lives will change, and they will change for the better. Perhaps you remember Jesus speaking about how the world will know that the disciples were his disciples. He said, the world will know you are mine. The world will know you are my disciples, my students, my followers, by how well you love one another. Love is an action. It is something that we practice spiritually. He said, by your fruit they will know you. What was he speaking about? He was speaking about the evidence of a changed life. An evidence of a changed life. It is not enough just to come on Sunday morning. I know you know that. Sunday morning is the attitude adjustment time. Sunday morning is the rev up time. Sunday morning is the remembering time, the celebrating time. But it's Monday through Saturday. At work, at home, with the person who is sandpaper to our soul, with our ex, when things look bleak financially, when we get bad news from the doctor, when we're dealing with upset and stress and difficulties, it is how we meet those things that is evidence of what we really believe and what we're really practicing. I'm reminded of very inspirational woman who spent from 1953 to 1981 walking more than 25,000 miles on her personal pilgrimage for peace. Her name was Peace Pilgrim. She embodied peace. She knew that by connection. She knew that by relationship. She knew that by living what she believed, that she could help to transform the world. And she made a significant difference. Jesus said that we are the light of the world, and he gave us not just those beautiful words saying what we are, but he gave us instructions about what to do with that. He said we were not to hide that light under a bushel, but what did he tell us we were meant to do? Oh, you can say that with a little more enthusiasm. To let it shine. And do you remember why? So others could also see that light, know something of Spirit, know something of God, and be inspired as well to live a different and better life. Do you know that you are in this room because of someone who chose to let their light shine brightly because of a difficulty that they were facing? That someone lived in the late 1800s, the mid 1800s to the mid 1900s, actually. Her name was Myrtle Fillmore. When she was 40 years old, she was diagnosed with tuberculosis and told she had only 6 months to live. It was for her as if her light was beginning to dim. But then she went somewhere and she heard a statement that dramatically changed the way she began to think about herself, and she began to amp up that light within by the way she looked at herself, by the way she thought of her body, by the way she thought of the divine relationship she had, by the way she thought of the energy of Spirit moving through her. And in that action, it was as if, not as if, she was amping up her divine light. So much so that she healed herself, or she allowed herself to be physically healed. And she went on to live a very long and very rich and very full life. We're here because of that. We're here because her changed life was an inspiration to everyone who saw it, who witnessed it, and who wanted to know, what are you doing? How are you living? What are you thinking? What are you practicing that so fundamentally changed your physical state? I want to know what that is what her friends were asking her. And she chose to speak about it. Why? Because she was transformed, but she wanted to share what her practice was doing that changed her life with the people she cared about. With the people she cared about. You are probably also here in this room because somebody told you about this place. Somebody told you about this teaching. Somebody told you about this tribe. I love that word. This tribe. And you decided to come and check it out. And maybe the first time you came just to do them a favor. I know the first time I came to Unity, it was just to do my grandmother a favor. I loved her dearly. She was like my best friend. And I wanted her to stop asking me to go to church because I didn't want anything to do with church at 16 and 17 years old. I was so glad to have left the church that I grew up in. Not that there was anything bad about it. It just wasn't relevant. It wasn't practical to me. And it was a church, a teaching that said we're right and everybody else is wrong. But I wanted to silence her. So I came. It took a little while. But then I started to see people's lives around me being changed. I started to hear messages that spoke to my head that didn't say, leave your intellect at the door, but bring your intellect in and listen with your heart. And then take what you hear that resonates with you and begin to embody it, begin to live it, and see how your life will change. I'm so glad that she told me about this place. I'm so glad that it was a friend that told her about unity. And we can go on and back and back. I have a piece that I read frequently, and I've shared it numerous times from the platform. I want to share it again here because I think it is such an inspirational piece and such an important thing for us to remember. It is something written by Marianne Williamson. I believe it was in her book, Return to Love. At one time, it was incorrectly attributed to Nelson Mandela, but it actually is a piece written by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Take that in for a moment. Place your hand on your heart, maybe. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Why might that be a fear? Because if we really got it, if we really understood how powerful we are, we'd have to make some big changes in our lives. We'd have to stop saying no. We'd have to stop playing small. We'd have to really let our light shine more brightly. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us, because that light is a responsibility. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in all of us, in every one of us. Your playing small does not serve the world. I'm reminded of a conversation I had a Sunday or 2 Sundays ago with one of our younger members of the Unity Center who practically grew up in our Sunday school classrooms, I think from 3rd grade forward. She is now a devoted and passionate school teacher. And she is one of those teachers that absolutely loves what she does and is totally committed to making the biggest difference she possibly can in the lives of those children. And she comes with joyfulness and enthusiasm and skill and creativity. And she's beginning to notice that there are some teachers around her that don't necessarily like that. That some are threatened by that. And we've had conversations on this very point here, how important it is to not let that energy of those that might want you to play small be the reason that you decide not to be the very best that you can be. You and I need to keep remembering that for ourselves. You and I need to keep remembering that the world really does need each and every one of us, letting our light shine as brightly as we possibly can, and embodying these practices, these teachings, these principles, and not hiding the fact that they are these practices, they are these teachings, they are these principles, not hiding them under a bushel in embarrassment, but instead having the courage, just as Myrtle Fillmore did, to let others know, this is my way of thinking. This is my way of living. I am happy to be part of the New Thought teaching. What a gift we can give to those we care about when we see them challenged or struggling, maybe in their marriage, maybe in their physical health and well-being, maybe in the stress of being a more conscious parent, maybe in work that is not satisfying or the feeling of being so pressured and so stressed. What a gift we give to say to them, you know, there's a way of being that can change all of that. There's a way of thinking that can make your life better. And not only is there a way of thinking and a way of living that can make your life better, but there is a community of people that are dedicated and devoted to practicing that themselves. And being part of a dedicated community devoted to that helps us to do what? To stay the course over time. I believe that unity and religious science have made two grave mistakes over the years, and I feel that having devoted my life for many years now in this teaching and for almost 35 years now as a minister, that I can step aside and be a little critical of my own teaching, not my teaching, but our lineage. And that is that I think we have emphasized too much the first part of our mission statement, which is the focus on the individual life at the exclusion of making a bigger difference in the world. Because you see, as soon as we change our lives, as soon as we start to feel even a little bit brighter and wholer and stronger, we have a responsibility to play a role in the larger world and help to make that world better. The other criticism I have of our New Thought teaching and practice is that for so long we looked at ourselves as really just being a teaching movement. And we were so afraid to share with others about our teaching. We would say things like, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, if you had a friend who absolutely had an answer to a serious problem you were facing, but they decided that unless you asked them, they weren't going to share it, would you be a little annoyed at that friend? Are you tracking with me? Are you tracking with me? I think that's a cop-out. I think it's a cop-out. I think that in our desire not to proselytize, and I'm not suggesting we don suits and white shirts and ties and ride bicycles. I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting, and I'm going to hold myself to this as well, being a little bolder and more clear and forthright, and not dancing around what I believe, where it comes from, how valuable the teaching is, how important the practice is, and how necessary a community of like-minded people is to continuing on in that practice. I think it is long past time for the Unity Center to not be such a well-kept secret. There is no reason that this place and every place like this in the New Thought community should be filled to overflowing. Why? So that it feels good up here? Well, yeah, it does feel good up here, but that's not why. That is not why. It is the second part of our mission statement, transforming the world with love. One of the ways that we can do that is to at least let as many people know that this teaching and this place exists. Because then as they begin to practice some of these ideas and some of these ways of living and being, their life changes. They want to make a bigger and positive difference. And it is one of the most basic ways that we can fulfill this second part of our mission statement. I want to encourage you to be giving thought throughout the next couple of weeks to who you might share your faith, your practice, your community with, and at least let them know, hey, come with me some Sunday. Hey, check this place out. Hey, check these cool people out. I want to invite my dear friend, longtime former board member, Dr. Bobby Atkins, to come to the platform for just a moment to share about this idea of what a difference it makes when someone invites you into a place like this. Bobby, oh, we need the microphone, I'm sorry. Please welcome Bobby. She is a delight. We love you.
It is always such an honor to stand here because I get to look at all of you. So you are indeed my community. How did I get here? Well, I was teaching, and one of my students came into my office for office hours. And we started chatting about religion, God, and all of those negative things, my thinking. And I said, I'm done with that. I grew up, and it was so negative, it was so negative that I'm done with that. And she said, but I go to a place that you might enjoy. And I said, Kelly, no, I'm done. So over time, she kept asking me to come. And on one occasion, I said, and what is the name of the church? And she said, the Church of Today. And I thought, oh no. Oh no. That's exactly what my mom said. You're going to move to California, and you're going to become one of those people. One of those people. So finally, I decided, okay, I'll go. And she said, we'll go, and we'll go to lunch after. Food, I'm on. So I did. When I got there, we were down in the valley. Mm-hmm. And there was this beautiful young lady up front doing something. And I thought, oh, great. There is a female assistant. And then when we got started, it was that same beautiful, energetic, marvelous person, Reverend Wendy. I was hooked. Her message always speaks to my heart, as I know it does to all of you. And so this is the reason that I am here. It is because of her, because of the teaching, but also because of all of you. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Thank you, Bobby.
Love you. Thank you.
So I'm certainly grateful that your friend Kelly said, hey, might want to come, and that she kept after you for a little while. So as we get ready to conclude, I want to ask you to take the Invite a Friend card that you were given this morning, and we're just going to do a little bit of prayer work over this. And so as you hold this card in your hand, go ahead and just close your eyes for a moment and just make a connection with your heart, moving into the feeling of gratitude. And our first prayer is just a prayer of gratitude for whatever it was that brought us here. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was a challenge. But someone or something brought you to this place and into this teaching. So take just a moment to feel grateful for that and for the good in your life that is evolving as a result of that person or that circumstance. Feeling grateful. And then secondly, move into a feeling of gratitude for the light that is you. For the light that is you. You have a unique light. And no matter how brightly it has been shining so far, it can shine even brighter. And so think for a moment of where and how you might let that light shine more in your life. Maybe in a particular relationship that perhaps feels a little challenged right now. For a moment, think and feel what it would be like in that relationship if you saw your job as being the light bearer. Or maybe it is in a particular circumstance in your life. It feels heavy right now, or dark, or confusing. Can you imagine shining the light that is God in you more brightly into that. And then thirdly, in prayer, to just keep your mind and your heart open wide to who in your life do you really know would benefit from this teaching and from this truly amazing community. Could it be a family member, a friend? Might it be someone that you see each morning as you buy your cup of coffee at Starbucks, or whatever it may be? Who is that just falls into your awareness? And as they do, right here and right now, send your blessing of love to them. And just hold the possibility that there will be an easy, natural, effortless way to invite them to be with you, that they too might experience the power of this teaching and the power of this community. And so now we let these prayers of gratitude move out beyond us, knowing that they are powerful to be fulfilled. And so it is. Amen.